Chill out there. Feels like it's about 3 out at O'Hare. We'll have your complete forecast. That's coming up just a few moments. Happy New Year, Ben and Karen.
Tracy, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Now an early morning look at the roads.
That's right. As you can see, pretty much everything is green. Just a little bit of yellow, what looks like on the inbound Kennedy. But this is pretty much driving in this morning. A little bit of slickness, but not too bad.
And there was a crash cleared eastbound on I-80-94 at the Bishop Ford, so things should begin to move through there. You can see just a little bit of a slow spot there as you approach that crash. Other than that, the roads are wet and slushy, but for the most part, looking pretty good. We'll update traffic again for you in just a couple of minutes. New this morning, the new year begins with gunfire. Chicago police officers were involved in 2 of the shootings. The tally so far, 4 people injured in separate incidents. In the first shooting of the new year, police say an officer shot a man who allegedly raised a gun toward officers moments after midnight. This happened in the 500 block of East 67th Street. Fraternal Order of Police spokesman Pat Camden said the man was celebrating New Year's Eve by firing a gun. He was taken to hospital with injuries that are not life-threatening. The second shooting happened just before 2 this morning on the 100 block of West 105th Street. Witnesses at the scene say it happened after reports of shots fired in the area and police arrived on the scene. There was a New Year's Eve house party underway. 3 people were injured in the police-involved shooting there. Their conditions are not yet known.
Also new this morning, several families are starting the new year without a roof over their heads after a fire broke out in their north side apartment building. Residents say the fire started just after midnight in the building at Sheridan and Howard. The city provided a bus to help the displaced families stay warm. There are no reports of injuries, though. The cause of that fire still has not been determined. And 2 people are being treated for injuries suffered in a fire that broke out in the basement of a South Side high-rise. That fire started just before 8 last night in the laundry room of the Lake Meadows complex in the Gap neighborhood. Residents were evacuated, but they were allowed to return after crews ventilated the building.
A Country Club Hills man is charged with the murder of his wife. 47-year-old Taft Hayden is due in bond court today. Taft's wife, Mary, was found dead in her home on Sunday. An autopsy determined that she had suffered a severe blow to her head. The mayor of South Suburban Country Club Hills said she was the victim of a domestic dispute. The couple has 2 children, ages 8 and 10. We're told they're now staying with relatives. A 75-year-old woman is recovering with just minor injuries after a metro train hit the car that she was driving in Des Plaines last night. Police say Delia Enrique accidentally stopped past the train gate on the tracks at River Road and Minor Street. The train hit the front end of the car and pushed it down to the next block.
Now, an Eyewitness News exclusives. Our cameras are there as the Cook County Sheriff's Office conducts a sweep trying to arrest DUI offenders who haven't met their court-ordered obligations. In the county, there are more than 600 criminal warrants out for drunk drivers this year. About 50 of them have been rearrested. The idea is to get repeat offenders off the street. Many use false names and addresses and can be hard to find.
Well, despite the snowstorm that hit Chicagoland last night, plenty of people turned out to ring in the new year. Davey Pier hosted one of the city's biggest celebrations. Here's a look. 2,800 people bought tickets for the Pier's Grand Ballroom celebration. 20 different bars were set up for the Resolution Gala. And at midnight, these partygoers had the best view of the fireworks as they exploded over Lake Michigan.
We wanted something a little more glamorous this year, so I had done in years past smaller bars, and I was looking for something with a little more pizzazz. The epitome of luxury and fun, and it's a great way to bring in the new year.
Trump Tower was the place to be for those looking for luxury. Events at both 16 and Rebar were nearly sold out. And many families headed out in Evanston, where First Night was back after a 7-year hiatus. The event is a family-friendly celebration of the arts. Last night, folks made their way among 6 separate venues.
Of course, other cities around the world also welcomed in the new year with festive celebrations and spectacular fireworks. Many partygoers didn't seem to mind braving bitter cold for a first-hand look at falling confetti and dazzling pyrotechnics. ABC's Tamon Bradley has been up through the night to gather our report.
The world rang in 2014 in spectacular fashion. In every corner of the globe, dazzling fireworks displays. In Australia, 1 million people gathered show over the Sydney Opera House. In Brazil, a big bash on Rio de Janeiro's Copacabana beach. In China, a stunning light show at the Great Wall and singing crowds. Across the U.S., frigid temperatures didn't stop the wave of celebrations. In New York, revelers packed Times Square to watch the famed crystal ball drop. Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, a New York native, led the festivities. Chicago welcomed 2014 and braced for at least 6 inches of snow. In Portland, Maine, these people braved the cold for a New Year's Eve 5K run and dip in the ocean.
Fabulous. Freezing. Really freezing, but fun. So fun. Exhilarating. It's a great thing to do on New Year's Eve. And you bond with everybody who does it with you.
For most of the country, a more traditional celebration. Those glasses, hats, and the first kiss. Tamon Bradley, ABC News, Washington.
All right, 4:36 coming up. We're on 4:37. Time for our first official check of weather traffic for the new year. This is 2014.
I want to know who's watching. I want.
Do a prize?
Maybe we'll come up with something. Let us know. Any one of us, Facebook, Twitter. Tell us if you're up and about, and, or if we're just talking to each other.
That's what it feels like some mornings around here.
Yeah, we had a little snow last night, and certainly made getting around on New Year's Eve a little more challenging. Now, we continue with the winter weather advisories, and they have been extended since I talked with you last. Well, winter weather advisory is in effect until 6 o'clock this evening. And now this includes, of course, the city here, but just added by the National Weather Service down in Kankakee County. This is going to begin here or over in Stark County later on today. But Kankakee is now in the advisory until midnight tonight. It goes into effect at noontime today. And where you were in Grundy County, you were originally not under the winter weather advisory, and now you are. So it looks like some of the snow is going to be expanding a little farther south as we go through the day today. Meanwhile, this is a lake effect snow watch, and this goes into effect at midnight tonight, expires tomorrow at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's because it's looking still as though we could have quite the lake effect setup around here. Futurecast radar showing that by the noon hour, most likely we start to get another snow blanket into the Chicago area, and we continue with these periods of snow. Just like we said yesterday, wouldn't be snowing constantly from last night through Thursday, and at times we would get a lull. And we're in a lull right now, but there will be periods of snow that do return. So as you watch our Futurecast radar, watch what happens here. This is lake effect, and that is going to begin most likely later on this evening into the day tomorrow, and that's where we could get some more significant snowfall. So we already have anywhere from about 1 to 6 inches of snow around the Chicago area from last night. Add to that the forecast snowfall that you will see coming in by 5 o'clock here this afternoon. We could end up with another 2 to 3 inches of accumulation. Really, by midnight tonight, we're looking at adding another couple of inches. So all totaled, we could have, by the time this is all said and done tomorrow, anything from about 6 to 12 inches of snow is going to be a possibility. Our low temperatures this morning, not as cold as they have been the past couple of mornings. Aurora, low has been 11 degrees there. Waukegan, 8. So far at O'Hare, we have only dropped to 11 degrees. And 14 is our temperature right now. With a north wind at 8, it's giving us our wind chill or AccuWeather real feel of about 3. It's 23 over at the lakefront, 19 degrees right now at Midway. A couple spots with some wind chills below 0. But look how expansive these winter weather advisories are. Almost the entire state of Illinois is included in it. The entire state of Indiana is included in winter weather advisories. As snow makes a return later on this morning, this afternoon we will have periods of snow. We're looking at our high temperatures today, most likely in the low to mid 20s around here. Lake effect taking us into the second day of the new year. Friday, hey, sun, dry, but cold. But that's nothing.
Whoa.
That's nothing
Look at that.
compared
Monday,
to what
Tuesday.
we may see next week. Mike Kaplan last night put frigid there Monday and then ditto for Tuesday. It still works.
Oh my goodness. He's been calling it holiday havoc.
It has been holiday havoc, yeah, between some of the ice that we had this past weekend, last week during Christmas week. I know there were some weather issues, and then, of course, today.
All right. Thank you very much, Tracy. And let's also take a look at what's happening on the roads out there.
Metro, CTA, and Pace all on a holiday schedule, of course, today, so the roads are fairly quiet. Let's give you a look at travel times at 4:40 this morning. Inbound on the Kennedy, looking like a base travel time, 17 minutes, whichever way you're going. Inbound on the Ike, same story, no problems whatsoever. And on the Stevenson, what do you know?
That's right.
Nobody's out at 4:41 on New Year's morning.
Thankfully, it's very clear despite all the slick roads and interesting conditions that could be out there this time of the New Year's morning.
Interesting is one way to describe it.
Exactly. It is 4:41 right now. When we come right back, the latest on the health of former First Lady Barbara Bush.
And